إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله تعالى من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. He says, O believers, have taqwa in Allah Azza wa Jalla. And taqwa means that we should be conscious of Allah, we should constantly be reminded by Allah Azza wa Jalla. And then he said we should protect ourselves from His punishment and His wrath. And we should never allow ourselves to die except in a state of submission to Allah Azza wa Jalla. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I begin my khutbah by asking Allah Azza wa Jalla first and foremost to send blessings and prayers upon our Habib, our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَمَلَائِكَتَهُ يُصَلُّونَ عَلَى النَّبِيِّ يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I always say this. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's life, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's traits, personality, the Prophet ﷺ's mindset is very relevant to all of us. The fact that Allah has sent a prophet in the shape of a human, it tells us a lot. It means that we need to connect to this human characteristics. Allah could have sent an angel to us, but then we will feel like, how can we relate to that? Angel does not, disobey Allah Azza wa Jal. Angel does not share any human characteristics, doesn't have feelings, doesn't have desires, doesn't have challenges. Humans are different than angels. So Allah has sent prophets because the prophets carry some of the human characteristics we do. One day Prophet ﷺ felt very overwhelmed. And he felt that his people put him down. His community put him down. He felt that there is absolutely no chance to continue with these kind of circumstances. He needed to do something different. His family is struggling. He lost his own wife. He lost his own uncle who was his backbone, his main support. And then looking around, his companions are going through a really difficult time. No help at all. And the Prophet at that moment decided to do something different. He decided to go and to seek help from a place that's called At-Ta'if. Now when he went to At-Ta'if, the Prophet was really hoping to see a different reality in At-Ta'if. Different reaction from their people. He thought that maybe he will get a better chance in At-Ta'if. And therefore he can come back to Mecca and then he's going to be able to continue his mission of spreading La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. That was, I'm assuming, his thought process. It was so beautiful. It's like me and you were trying to figure out what was going on in the mind of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because this is a prophet. We really need to understand in order for us to actually follow his wisdom and know how to navigate this life. This life is difficult. It has its own challenges and has its own ease and khayr. But then in order for me and you to be able to navigate through all of this, we want to look up to somebody who was able to go through all of this. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah said, Uswatun Hasan. This is the role model. This is the man that we should look up to. So yes, the Prophet ﷺ was there. And when he first arrived to Taif, he got it even harder than the way he got it in Mecca. People turned him away, people mocked him, people just sent their kids to stone the Prophet ﷺ, just throw him with rocks and any form of humility that you can possibly think of. Prophet ﷺ experienced it. And then at some point, the Prophet ﷺ sat down under a tree. And it was a reflecting time for the Prophet ﷺ. I can assume that the Prophet was just drained emotionally. It's like, I just now need to turn my heart and my face to Allah Azza wa Jalla and speak to Allah. That's what the Prophet felt at this moment, because yes, we know what the Prophet said, by the way. I'm about to share it with you. At this moment, the Prophet said or made a dua that we know. Imagine how precious this dua is. It's not a secret. We all know now. We're about to know the dua that the Prophet ﷺ has made in this moment. He said, Allahumma inni ashku ilayka ضعف قوتي وقلة حيلتي وهواني على الناس أنت رب المستضعفين وأنت ربي إلى من تكلني إلى بعيد يتجهم أم إلى عدو بلغته. Very, very powerful words. I'm about to translate it, but it's more of the words. It is the mindset behind it. This is not just a dua that you say off your tongue. It's a mindset. He said, Allahumma inni ashku ilayka dhafa quwwati. That's the first thing. He said, Ya Allah, I complain to you the lack of my strength. I'm just not, somebody who is with complete strength. I'm powerless at this point. And that's okay, because Allah is the most powerful. And we are powerless. This is how it works. We are very limited. And Allah is limitless. He is the creator. We are the creation. Sometimes we need to acknowledge this. Acknowledge that you have limited capacity. We do have limited capacity. And that's okay. We're humans. So he said, Ya Allah, Allahumma inni ashku ilayka dha'fa quwwati. Ya Allah, you're perfect. I'm perfect. You're the most powerful. وَقِلَّةَ حِيلَتِي. Sometimes you just feel like you're running out of options. You've done everything possible. And sometimes it's not working. قِلَّةَ حِيلَتِي. Lack of resources. Lack of figuring out things, trying to make things work, and sometimes it doesn't work your way. Just feel like you're stuck. That's literally the translation of these words. The Prophet felt stuck. Why? Because he's just doing everything possible to spread the da'wah, and everything has its struggle. So he paused and he spoke to Allah. Beautiful. At some point, you will have to do that. You just have to stop. I know sometimes we think that we figured it all. We can take care of this, take care of that. We're able to manage it. We're able to handle it. But sometimes Allah just gives you a little push. You know what? Just humble yourself. Just humble yourself. Just pause and remember me. Any big event, life event, that happens to any of us is for a reason. Allah sometimes sends you a life event to wake you up, to get you closer to Him. In the case of the Prophet ﷺ, that's a perfect case right here. The Prophet was sitting And it was just like losing family members, losing people. People are not guided. His heart is burned out of the salvation of his ummah. It's not happening. It's huge. It's overwhelming. But then that's the moment where turn back to Allah. Turn back to Allah. Or, may Allah protect us from this, some other people actually go further away from because of Allah. That's the choice. A choice we make. When that happens, choice we make. قلة حيلتي وهواني على الناس. I wish I can go through this dua, it takes hours. But let me just take this bite. هواني على الناس. And like he's complaining to Allah that people turned him down. Now, we need to ask ourselves, how do we define our relationship with people versus our relationship with Allah? Do we need even people around us? Should we put full trust in the people around us? When I say people, co-workers, family, somebody we're interacting with on a daily basis, friends, you name it, people around. Well, this is an important question. The Prophet ﷺ was responding to this question in this dua, is giving us some guidance in that regard. How do you define your relationship with people around you, and how do you define your relationship with people, with Allah Azza wa Jal, Rabbul Nas, the creator of the people? How do you differentiate between these two relationships? Well, the Prophet ﷺ said, ultimately, I go to you, Allah, because you are the creator. People have their own capacities. Even though we need people around us. Allah said in the Quran, وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَدَاةِ وَالْعَشِيِّ يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَهُ. Every Friday we recite Surah Al-Kahf, and this ayah is in Surah Al-Kahf. Be patient. That's beautiful, because be patient means that you're going through something and you need support system around you. Be patient among the people who remind you by Allah, meaning that you need people around you. We need each other. The Prophet ﷺ himself couldn't make it alone. He needed the Sahaba. So we need people around us. But this is very delicate, because sometimes you need to know that even though you need people around you, the ultimate trust you should put in Allah Azza wa Jalla. This way you will never get hurt. People sometimes will put you down. Sometimes they will break you. Sometimes, they will upset you. Sometimes you have high hopes. Then things go in a different way that you were expecting. That's completely fine. You know why? Because they're limited. They have limited capacity. Allah is the one who has absolutely no limited capacity. He's limited. So the Prophet ﷺ figured this out as he's sitting under this tree, that sometimes he had hope that people of Taif will actually back me up. The people of Taif will back me up. But then he just saw a different reality. It doesn't mean that he gave up on the people of Taif, because what's so beautiful that the people of Taif returned back to Islam later on in his battle. So he needed people for sure. But he figured that, you know what? Just go back to Allah. I just go back to Allah. Because these things I have absolutely no control over. And the one who is in control is our Rabb, is Allah Azza wa Jalla. Then why don't you just go back to Him? It sounds simple, right? It's actually simple. This is Islam. Islam is very simple. But the impact of the simplicity of what I'm saying is massive. It's really massive. Finding this relationship with people, you will never get hurt. Plus, I have high, hope in Allah Azza wa Jalla. I need people around me. I treat people good, and I trust people. I need people to be, in my side. I need people to know that I actually have so much love and care about them. We need to interact. But ultimately, the ultimate hope, the ultimate trust, there is none in Allah Azza wa Jalla. Knowing this, you will protect yourself from the harm of others, and you will strengthen your relationship with Allah Azza wa Jalla. Your heart will get really connected to Allah. And this is the focal point of our Sharia, of our deen, of Islam. I ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to make us among those who always go back to Allah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. بعد, before we wrap up this khutbah, what's so beautiful about this dua is that this dua was a turning point in the life of the Prophet. That was a turning point. That's it. After this dua, the life of the Prophet after this dua was different than the life of the Prophet before. Allah has opened doors for the Prophet. He did the hijrah, and then people welcomed him with open arms. And they have this nasheed and this joy and this happiness that people of Medina, will have the way that they welcome the Prophet and the Sahaba, and a whole new phase started right after this dua. So wallahi, you don't know. Maybe this dua, maybe one dua can change your life. Wallahi. One dua. You wake up in the morning and you engage in dua. Actually, we were having a conversation today, inshallah ta'ala, about the dua and the power of. And inshallah, invite you all to come to this big event that we have here. Dua should be your companion. That's the title of my talk today. Dua should be your companion, your sahib. You will never feel alone. And you will see khayrat, you will see goodness that's coming. You will see ease. Engaging in dua, you will see ease. At least peace, internal peace. At least. If not, the external factors are changing for you. At least you will find peace within. You will find that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those who will find that peace within, Ya Rabbal Alameen. And make us from those who will embrace in the du'as, Ya Rabbal Alameen. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا واسرافنا في امرنا ثبت اقدامنا مع القوم الكافرين. اللهم ارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه، ارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. ربنا هب لنا من ازواجنا وذرياتنا قرة اعين واجعلنا للمتقين اماما. اللهم حرر الاقصى يا رب العالمين. احفظ اهلنا في فلسطين يا رب العالمين. احفظ اهلنا في سوريا يا اكرم الاكرمين. احفظ المسلمين في جميع بقاع الارض يا اكرم الاكرمين. اللهم صل وسلم وانعم وبارك على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا.